Sometimes I feel like we're living in the down under here in Seattle. Homeless man Steve Irwin allegedly rebuilding camp in Seattle Park despite decade-long ban. You've been banished from the park. No, I haven't. I'm going back there and I'm going to do a little bit of mining. Mining in a park. Let's get into it. Here we go. Again.
This leads to Steve Irwin's encampment.
He's back. Witnesses say they've seen Steve Irwin inside Seattle 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 Park, a park he's been banned from for not 1, but 10 years. All this after this. He was busted more than a year ago. Police say he used a stolen excavator to take down a dozen trees and cut a steep embankment in the park to make way for an illegal cabin. Twice since being banned from all city parks, police say he's returned, and twice he's been arrested. And now witnesses report he's back.
Steve Irwin was again seen in the park, this time in the off-leash area last Friday, and he has a no trespassing order for all parks of the city of Seattle.
But they aren't here.
Longtime park steward Craig Thompson told me this new hand-cut trail in the middle of the park's off-leash dog run leads to where Irwin was seen.
All right, remember that scene right there, okay?
These images captured by a homeless outreach group.
Right here. Yep, right there.
They saw him here too.
The person who went back there and the police that went back there said that there's gasoline, generators, propane, and an elaborate camp.
Seattle,
just like last time.
Two reported Irwin sightings, but when they arrived, no sign of him.
And the reason why he's so obsessed with this park is he says this park is filled with gold and diamonds.
He told us that too earlier this
year. So I have seen the results of his mining, and they look like this. Okay, what do we think that is? Other than a rock.
Google Lens says it's a diamond.
Oh, okay.
Raw diamond.
Huh.
No.
So you just got to crack that open?
Polish it and do something with it.
Yeah.
That looks like a dinosaur, don't it?
That kind of does.
Like a... It goes in the ground like that.
You're not wrong. Yeah. Huh. Okay. And these you've been collecting from the site all in one area, or?
Here and there.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing really.
Let me know if you get a heart-shaped one. I want it.
Courtney blames the judicial system for what she describes as repeated catch and release. She thinks he needs help.
Yeah, so it's just very frustrating to watch this again and again.
So a dude that is mental, that does a lot of meth, that steals an excavator and goes into a critical area of a park, who logs some of the timber, takes down some of the trees to make his encampment, who literally starts a mining operation in a Seattle City park where he is mining for gold and diamonds. He has a restroom facility, a hole in the ground with a toilet, and he's got all kinds of flammables. He had a washing machine. I mean, he had exercise equipment, couldn't really, run most of it, but he had power jacked from a power source in city power. That guy needs help? Huh. Weird. I agree. The guy's mental. And yet what is more mental is Seattle keeps letting him out. This guy needs treatment. And then after he gets sobered up, let's see what he looks like. But his mom doesn't want him back. During one of those live streams where I was down there interviewing him, Steve Irwin's mom called, got a hold of Jeremy Harris and said, we didn't know he was alive. And Andrea Suarez, who, she's We Heart Seattle, she basically said, well, let's get him together. And the mom didn't want him back until he sobered up. Fair enough. Tough love, right? That guy's got to go because he's in Seattle cutting down trees, excavating and mining in a public park. And city officials just go, oh, Steve, shame on you. 10-year ban. You can't go there. Like that guy cares. Anybody who takes an excavator into a park and starts mining and cutting trees down, that guy doesn't care. How hard is it to figure out? That guy needs to be in treatment somewhere, period.
And watch that this is now going to cost the city, again,
The repairs from the excavator damage alone cost $20,000. The King County prosecutor thinks the system could be better too. She launched a recent task force to explore changing the state's involuntary treatment law.
Just continue to let him out again and again.
𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗠, Como News.
All right, so here's a video that Andrea Suarez shot yesterday, and she sent me this morning. And let's take a quick look at it. So he's clearly cut a path amidst some blackberries, and he's got a path going, probably an animal path. Yeah. This is just creepy, isn't it? It's creepy. Ugh. It's like watching the Blair Witch. It's good footage, Andrea. Well done. And then we've got, some clothing, got a cart because you got to haul stuff in there. And then we pop out on a nice woman relaxing at the dog part. Yeah, she's hanging out with her dog. If you're not familiar with Andrea Suarez of We Heart Seattle, let's just take a quick peek. Andrea has extracted 1.5 million pounds of garbage from Seattle's parks and shared spaces. She's helped get 240 people off the streets. And she does this all based on donations. WeHeartSeattle.org. And then you can donate. Got a link right there. So this is one of the few organizations that I support. This is really the only organization that I support, because what they do is they go out and they do litter picks. And so they literally, get all this garbage and haul it away. And then people complain that they are taking homeless people's belongings. And you're like, no, that's garbage. They're just getting rid of garbage. So let's take a look at this story and see what we got. It's my understanding that as of today, this is New Year's Eve. I'm recording this for you. Steve Irwin is going to be arrested today because of his shenanigans again in a Seattle City park. And this is that misguided compassion of, well, if we just tell him that he can't go in the park, he'll obey because he's an adult. The guy's whacked out of his mind on drugs, and he's already exemplified that he can't live within society's rules. His mom doesn't want him back. I mean, I've talked to him a bunch. I interviewed him that day, and I think he knows his reality is, let's call it fluid, as a lot of drug addicts' reality is. They're whacked out of their mind, and maybe he's got some mental issues as well, but definitely some chemical dependency, because that's the only reason where you say, you know what? Screw it. I'm going back in the park. I've been given a 10-year ban. Don't really care. Let's go. Seattle police were called to the city's Dr. 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗛 Park on Friday after witnesses reported seeing a homeless man there who had been banned from all city parks for a decade. That's going to really do it. We're going to give you a 10-year ban. Next time, maybe it's 20. Guy doesn't care. Guy isn't able to make that distinction. Can't go there. Multiple people said they spotted Steve at the end of last week in an area full of brambles. He's the same man who linked to extensive property destruction. Seattle police told Como News in the email that officers responded to 2 911 calls, reported sightings of the 42-year-old. That guy kind of gets around in his own little lair down there, though. He can just dip out, and if he knows when people are coming, because it's kind of hard to get down in through that. I mean, it's a pretty steep park. I mean, you don't even really want to go down there unless you really know your way around. And Andrea, in our text communication this morning, she said that it's really wet and it's really muddy. So, just send a bunch of people in. I'm sure this will work out fine. One caller said he appeared to be high. Oh, shocker. What? I don't believe that for a second. No. No. And that he was not supposed to be in the park. But when officers arrived, there was no sign of Irwin. He's slippery. He's cunning. He knows. Now, he just hasn't been caught yet. He'll be caught in the next couple of days. And then what happens? Are they going to involuntarily put him through detox? Are they going to arrest him and put him in jail? No judge in Seattle is going to go, let's see, you're homeless, you're a drug addict, therefore I'm going to throw you in jail. I'm going to throw the book at you, Steve. It's not what we're doing. Misguided compassion. Yeah, if I give you one more opportunity, will you be a good boy, Steve, and not go back in that park? You can't go back in that park. Like he's a 4-year-old instead of a 40-whatever-year-old adult on drugs. Those who saw him allege he's attempting to build another structure in the wooded area. Andrea offered to take me there, and I said, hey, let's see how this goes. It's nestled on the west side of the park's off-leash dog park. Longtime park steward Craig Thompson showed KOMO News a newly cut footpath through the brambles and vegetation. Yeah, we saw that. There's no apparent sign of him. He's going to come back at some point. Probably be there at night. Know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, it's insanity that this guy is still running around and he's not in jail somewhere. I know you want more of this story, so let's go back and watch, we'll go back and watch this one. I think this one was from summer.
It was $15,000 to repair this hillside. Today, we talked to the man accused of causing that damage. He says he came right back here because he wants to build a cabin. And despite offers of help and criminal charges, he says he has no intention of leaving. Tucked in the woods of 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗪 Park, this is Stephen Irwin's cabin, complete with beer kegs, a washing machine, several TVs, and this treadmill. Irwin took KOMO News into his encampment, which he says he plans on expanding.
We've got fire, gasoline, propane, kerosene, and live wires and flammables everywhere.
Andrea Suarez does homeless outreach. She's been trying to get Stephen to move indoors.
I've even offered to pay for his first 6 months of housing, and he just told me, that's great, but I'm still going to keep my cabin in the woods.
This cabin is something Stephen has been working on for months. He was arrested here back in October for bringing in an excavator from a nearby construction site to dig up the hillside. The city paid thousands to fix the damage, and Irwin was criminally charged. But it didn't take long for him to come back, and this time,
this guy is just getting away with it. So I don't know. I don't understand that.
His cabin is now far more extensive than any previous camps here.
Absolutely frustrated. Yeah, it's terrible. We need some civility here. We need some police action.
Neighbors say the damage will take years to undo, and they fear things could get worse before it's resolved. But there's also a risk for him being in that environment.
There are smells of kerosene, propane. He's wiring generators, gasoline. There's 3 different forms of fuel down here, and live wires, hoses are everywhere. It's a ticking time bomb.
Andrea, how do you really feel?
Could we have seen some big homeless encampment fires in this area before? What does the city have to say about all this? Well, the park says it is a police issue. I've reached out to Seattle Police to see if they are planning to take any sort of enforcement action. Have not heard back from them. Irwin, though, to this day claims that he has permission to be doing all of this. And of course, the city says he does not. Reporting live at 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗪 Park, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.
You cannot make this stuff up. You literally you can't make this stuff up because nobody would believe the reality in Seattle. It just wouldn't. I mean, if you came here from, other than from an LA or a Portland or, Oakland or San Francisco or New York, you would not believe this nonsense because that's what it is. This guy has repeatedly broken the law. And he's famous. He is as famous as the real Steve Irwin. You know what I mean? Yeah. The guy that stepped on manta ray? I think so. Yeah. And he got killed. Yeah. Steve Irwin in the excavator in 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗪 Park is as well known now, I believe, in my head, in my YouTube head, I mean, you just, this whole nonsense is just absolutely crazy. I told Andrea I would keep an eye on this story, and if he's still out there and if I haven't seen anything, I'm going to take her up and we're going to go out and see Steve again. Just see what happens. Should be exciting, entertaining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye from now. Bye for now. From now. Oh, I sound like Steve Irwin. Catch you later. Bye.